transfers as well. We look at Austin Webb, the Swiss Army knife of this Anderson team, and Sam Perez coming from Campbell U. The guy is a sharpshooter from three, really stretches the floor, and of course, Cole Middleton out of Cleveland State. So a lot of good D1 talent on this floor, and it's translated into one of Jimmy Williams and his Trojans' best seasons yet.
Absolutely is, and this is an Anderson team, as Austin Webb wastes no time pulling up from distance but couldn't get it to fall. This is an Anderson team that really got taken advantage of by Lincoln Memorial. There was one switch in particular that Lincoln Memorial went to time and time and time again, where they got their big man, who was 6'7", being guarded by A.J. Wright, who's 5'10". They really, really exploited the size mismatch with A.J. Wright as a defender, because he's a great defender, but he's not with a guy that's 8 inches taller than him.
Well,
that's just science.
A lot of that time, it would be off the ball screens, it would be off the switches, and a lot of the time, it just, like you said, it did exploit that mismatch for just a second. Thankfully, that likely won't be the case this game around, because Jimmy Williams, he's made his adjustments, and he knows exactly what to do against a Limestone team that he's seen many a times in his career. Again, his third season, he's in the all-black suit tonight, as well as we do look to celebrate Black History Month. As Cole Middleton garners the shooting foul, and he'll step up to the line. Middleton, like I said, in his senior year, transfer from Cleveland State. Second year with the Trojans, and he has just been an all-star. I mean, a guy that Jimmy Williams heavily relies on to be the voice of this team. A very calm, cool, controlled presence, and overall, great basketball player.
And in his 23-point outing against LMU on Saturday, what was interesting to me was he never found his way to the free throw line. Already a different story here tonight, as his first points come from the charity stripe.
McKay, the handoff, Hughes now working around the corner. Again, they're looking to target their main shooter as he goes from the charity stripe. This one trickling out. Sam Perez, the rebound. Perez navigating, commanding the floor. He'll dump that one off to Dallas Jones. Jones, three ball, you betcha, as that one dribbles in. 5-zip lead here for the Trojans at home. What a way to start.
And the prophecy looking really good. He was 1 for 5 against LMU, and he only played 16 minutes. But I said that the Trojans need to see more from him tonight, and he delivers on his first shot attempt.
And speaking of delivering, that time to go is Sam Perez.
Sam Perez is such a good three-point shooter for this Anderson team. He has no hesitation of pulling up from range, and he is a 43% free throw shooter.
And again, it's not like he doesn't shoot often, and that's why his percentage is so high. This guy is shooting upwards to 5-6 times a game from out wide. So continue to look out for Sam Perez, as he's been making waves with this Anderson team.
I realized I slipped up there. I said free throw percentage. I meant three-point percentage. A 43% three-point shooter. And to your point about the attempts per game, 65 three-pointers attempted coming into this ball game. So he gets about 4 to 5 on average. And 1 for 1, a good start for him.
Limestone to begin things. The Inman native and Isaiah Owens finds Hughes. A.J. Wright, his defender. The 0-on-0 matchup. Owens navigating through traffic. The slip pass, that one right through the gap for Rayler Vargas. Averaging around 5 points per game. Vargas, a great role player for this Limestone team. A tall presence, can squeeze in between those gaps and dominates the paint. Anderson with the miscue between Sam Perez, Austin Webb. Austin Webb, the West Liberty transfer. Former teammates of Garrett Dimbo, who, as we all know, is now with the San Diego Clippers and is having the time of his life. Earlier this month, I was sitting there talking to Garrett, and I was like, well, how's it been? He's like, man, there's so much more money involved in these pro-level sports. I mean, the food that you get, to the treatment that you get, it's a different level, and it's already pretty good here at Anderson. I like to say that they have it made, and Austin Webb has it made with 2, and the Anderson fans feel the same.
And Rayler Vargas, you talked about, he averages 5 points per game. He's already got 4, and we're 3 minutes into this one, so he could be in for a breakout night for the Saints.
That one will go from the wide side. Greg McKay, the senior out of the Bahamas. A lot warmer there right now than it was just yesterday. A crisp 75 degrees here yesterday. It was beautiful, enjoying campus, going on a quick walk, enjoying the sunshine that we have rarely gotten in the past few months. Austin Webb, the hesitation, looks for Perez, top of the key. Swings things down low. Austin Webb with the left hand.
Austin Webb and that left side layup is so pure. It's something he does very, very well. We talk about him being a sharpshooter from distance, and he absolutely is. We talk about how when one shot goes in, the rim gets 3 times bigger for him.
Indeed, and it's a 12-6 lead here for Anderson. We'll be back on the other side. Averaging around 80 points per game. The three-point percentage practically identical, both in that 35% range. Owens shifting around the court, finds McKay on the wide side. From the elbow, here's Sir Hughes, put in handcuffs by A.J. Wright. Owens shifting, dancing, twirling, that one will fall.
Isaiah Owens, their leading scorer in the loss against Newberry. He had 19 points, was 8 for 13 shooting, and just a few points away from his career high, which he had last year against Converse of 25, and his season high this year is 22. Just needed one more bucket to get there.
He's had 10 points on 13 occasions this season. Dallas Jones looking for another. Won't go. Sentinel Moore up and out. Will take him to the line. 6'9" freshman out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. A guy that has continued to improve and impress this season. And also, I found it very funny that his post on Instagram around Christmas time was all of his many, many siblings, and he has a lot of siblings, by the way. And the caption was, "The more, the merrier." And it was all of his siblings in a line, and they all look so identical to each other. It's actually crazy. But Moore can't finish the second one. Cole Middleton, the rebound, up and in. The jam from Cole Middleton.
And there is a very quick way to get the Trojan Army in the Abney fired up. They like to see those big-time momentum shifts. And a dunk, while it's only 2 points on the scoreboard, it has such a greater impact than just the 2 points, which were answered right away.
Huge heads-up play by Cole Middleton as well. A lot of the times people... Maccabee, deep three. Won't go. Rebound Limestone. They're quick to the scene. Owens through traffic. Up and over Sentinel Moore. And just like that, what was at one point a 6-point lead for the Trojans is now a mere 2. Anderson going to really have to keep this offensive spark alive. Dallas Jones can't do so. Brought down for the second time by Okogie.
And Limestone averages 80 points per game. So both these teams like high possessions, a lot of opportunities, and like to rack up the points.
A.J. Wright between the trees, kicked away by what looked to be Sentinel Moore. Trayvon Payton stolen away, pickpocketed down low. A host of Trojans. Wright stays inbounds. Middleton fouled within the paint. That all started with the very handsy defense that Anderson has. And Dallas Jones, his defense has become phenomenal since last season. A total step up as Middleton takes the floor. Swishes that one. If you look at his free throw percentage, He's 75% so far this season, averaging a team high 15 points per game. Him and Austin Webb sit there at the exact number. Drains 2 and brings it now to a 4-point lead.
And this is an Anderson team that is incredibly young. We talk about it time and time again. A.J. Wright, sophomore. Dallas Jones, sophomore. Austin Webb is a senior, but he's only one of 4 seniors on this team. Caleb Maccabee, the freshman, he's going to be a big-time player. Sentinel Moore has already stepped up to be one, especially down low, as that shot is good for Limestone. An easy lay-in right there. But Cole Middleton, the junior, he's got 6 points. He is stepping into the leadership role for this Anderson team, along with Austin Webb and A.J. Wright.
Jacksen Greco, the lefty sharpshooter, transfer from Mercer. Give him 3 to start the
day. A heck of a lot. He comes off the bench. He gets a few minutes. He's played in almost every game this season, averages just under 10 minutes per game. But in the short bursts that he plays, he has a pretty good impact, averaging 4 points per game, and he's already got 3, and so does A.J. Wright from the corner.
You know, speaking of Jacksen Greco, the first year he came to Anderson 3 seasons ago, he was averaging 12.9 points per game. This dude is a superstar. I feel like he just hasn't gotten that time to really shine so far this season. He fits the system very, very well. This is a system made for shooters, and Jacksen Greco, A.J. Wright, both the same. 22-14 your score. A.J. Wright checks out. The pass, Owens juggles it, loses it. Maccabee in stride, finds Greco, up and side of the backboard, but a foul is drawn. To the line he goes.
Yaturi Bolton was trying to get the clean block on that one. Got there just a hair too late, made contact with Greco, and that will send him to the line to boost his season average if he makes both.
Greco, again, one of those D1 talents that was brought in by Jimmy Williams and has made some good strides in his game. And this being a pivotal proving point here with some early minutes early on. And sinks both, brings it to a 10-point lead. The Trojans on fire. Middleton looking to check in, as well as Franklin Davis, a very talented freshman on that Limestone squad. Sir Hughes, who's been left scoreless today, blocked from behind by Austin Webb, snatches it out of his hands. The dump off, Austin Webb dumps it in.
And Austin Webb, I feel like, is the perfect little big man. He can come from behind and get a block in the paint and then go the other way and hit. I'm not going to say it's been non-existent, but it's been fairly close to that. Anderson 5 for 9 from distance already in this one. They only made 9 in their entire 40-minute game against Lincoln Memorial last time out. This is a team that is very confident from 3, and the Saints need to do something about it, and they need to do it fast.
Yeah, Austin Webb with the go-ahead 3 to bring it to the timeout. Okogie, 3-ball, what an answer.
And a good way to answer a rain of 3s from the other end is to hit one yourself. The first 3 to fall for Limestone thus far, and that's partially because they've only taken 3.
Again, the more you shoot, the more likely you are to make one. We'll see Austin Webb step out of bounds, as that one would have counted there for Jacksen Greco. So a very rookie mistake, just a possible vision issue there with Austin Webb. Happens to the best of us. It truly does. And Austin Webb has more than proved himself on the court many a time. Small mistakes like that won't affect his game. And that's what I like about him. He may have a bad shot here and there, or maybe makes a mistake like that, never lets it get to him. That's what I love about Austin Webb's mindset. It's a go and go get mindset. Well, Greco the pass out. Maccabee on to Webb. Back to Jones here on the elbow. Kick out. Shifting. Webb, 3-ball off the crutch. Jones the rebound. The big man steps up, throws it in, and eventually in the hands of Isaiah Owens. 3 ball, no good.
And Austin Webb is a guy that we talk a lot about. He was preseason picked to be second team all-conference. And the way he's playing this season, he's going to hover right around that same line this year. The future looking bright for him with still about a month to go in this regular season.
Yeah, in his last season as well, so I'm sure he's feeling all the feels of a senior season. The floater teardrop, Jacksen Greco having himself a night.
I think when we were thinking about who would be leading scorers for the Trojans in this game, especially early on, Jacksen Greco was not one of the names that came to mind, but he is putting on a show in really his first significant action in a row in a while for Anderson.
Silencing the crowd is Owens. Deep 3 ball. 9-point lead remains in the Trojans' favor. Austin Webb takes command. Less than 10 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Dallas Jones makes a man jump, goes in strong, takes a man down with him. And a hard fall from Dallas Jones, as well as Trayvon Payton.
And Greco's a guy that, you know, he plays 2 minutes here, 3 minutes there, 2 minutes there, and by the end of the game, you get somewhere around that 10 line that he's averaging on the season. This is the first time I feel like maybe all season where we've seen him for a good 6-7 minute stretch, and he is making Limestone pay right now with how he's shooting the ball.
One thing I know about Jacksen Greco is that he's one of the hardest workers on this team. He's always the guy that's getting extra shots in after practice. He's always the guy that's running the extra lap. He's always the guy that, you know, is pushing himself to the next level and to his limit. I've trained with Jacksen Greco before, and he's an absolute beast on all fronts. I know in the offseason, while I was preparing for football and he was getting ready for the offseason of basketball, right before the summer hit, you know, we went out, we ran a few laps, and that guy was just paces ahead of me. And I'm a pretty fast guy. 31-20 your score here. Okogie with a free lane, dishes it out. Sir Hughes, guarded by Sam Perez. Drives in with the left hand, scooting underneath the basket. A.J. Wright quick to the scene. Fly by, he'll slow down the pace. Lethal shooters out on the court. This is about the best shooting lineup you could get. If you're Jimmy Williams, that is. One of the very rare bad passes from A.J. Wright. Again, he is the assist master. Set the single game assist record in Anderson program history last season.
And a guy that has 114 assists, 122 assists actually this season, clearly doing numbers for the Trojans, and he's such a good facilitator of this offense. But I'd argue, as good as he is on offense, he's even better defensively.
100%. But what I like about him is that it's almost a perfect balance, as this one's pickpocketed by Caleb McAbee. A.J. Wright down the lane, off his own knee. That will be Limestone ball. He's like, finally, I'm not passing the ball to anybody. I can go all the way, and then off the knee. Unfortunate series of events. But either way, the 9-point lead here for Anderson.
And the offense slowing down just a little bit for the Trojans, but it felt like early on they were playing with the adrenaline of the crowd. They were fired up to put on a show tonight, but kind of settled down a little bit more, and now we're seeing a couple mistakes made on the offensive end.
So the pass from Owens to McKay. McKay tried for the reverse lay and fouled by Sam Perez. Bit of contact there on the arm. Brings us to a timeout. 7:47 remains, 31-22 your score. See you on the other side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So just trying to crawl their way back.
Limestone trying to crawl their way back, and it helps that things have kind of simmered down a little bit. Anderson got off to a very, very hot start, and it felt like Limestone could have lost this game in a hurry, But since then, things have kind of settled down. Anderson's made a couple mistakes that have cost them opportunities, and Limestone is starting to capitalize more, especially inside the painted area.
McKay, 2 for 2. Now Jacksen Greco, A.J. Wright to begin things.
And Greg McKay is coming off his worst game of the season against the Wolves of Newberry. He shot 3 for 11, didn't hit from deep, and only scored 6 points. But he averages 16 points per game, usually 45% from the field and 30% from three. Just an anomaly of a performance, but an anomaly of a shooter is Austin Webb. The guy just doesn't miss once one falls.
Yeah, slowly approaching that average of 15 points per game. He's got double digits already, and it's only been around 12 minutes. Driving the lane, kicking out, side of the key. On the way, Austin Webb. The steal. And A.J. Wright prepares the offense. Greco hesitates. McAbee sets the play in motion. Here comes Middleton. Round the way. Mid-range, no good. Austin Webb shot through contact. McKay, no good. Off the head of Jacksen Greco. He recovers. And I will say that's the first time I've ever seen someone pass it off their own head to themselves and manages to stay upright.
It's neat how in one sport they do it almost every minute, and in one sport you never see it except for if you're lucky once a season.
And we were indeed lucky. A.J. Wright through the trees for two. Extends the lead.
Greco just continuing to put on a show for Anderson, and he's a guy that's not incredibly confident from three. He doesn't take very many attempts, but he's feeling something tonight because he's already taken a couple and they've fallen. And Middleton got tied up right there.
That was a bit scary, if you ask me. We saw Middleton's knee go left then right, and he came close to sitting on it. Thankfully, he's walking that off. We do see an injured Limestone player down. That is Sir Hughes. That would be a very, very bad loss for this Limestone team.
Looks like he is good, though. Just a tie-up, but when those feet, those ankles get twisted together, it's always very scary, especially on the hardwood.
Trying to bide their time is Limestone in the bright banana-colored shoes. McKay. Deep three, quick trigger, no good, into the hands of Austin Webb. Jones now down the court. 5:30 remain here in our first half of action.
And Anderson shooting a ridiculous 61%, 11 for 18 from the field thus far, and make it 12 for 19 as Cole Middleton still feeling great from beyond the arc. Continuing what he was doing against LMU on Saturday.
Yeah, again, Cole Middleton, his game overall is one of the most impressive that I've seen in my time as a commentator. A guy that really can work from all areas. And he wasn't, you mentioned Greco not being confident in his three-point shooting, but Cole at the very beginning of the season was not as confident in his. And slowly but surely he's improved more and more and more as each game progresses, taking more shots, taking more risks. And he's become now one of those guys that you have to look out for on all spectrums of the court. It used to be if you shut down Cole in the paint, then you've got him for the rest of the game. You're good. But now he's a three-point shooter, too. Scary sight for any South Atlantic Conference team. Ahead by 15 now are the Trojans.
And came into this game averaging 45%, 1 for 1 tonight, keeping up the rhythm that he's been feeling over these last couple games and extending a 15-point lead.
McAbee can't come down with it. That went off the crutch. Anderson back on the defensive. Sir Hughes leading the charge here for Limestone. Working off the screen, step back three. No good, back iron won't go. Dallas Jones, big man rebound. I will say he's gotten a lot more aggressive in the paint, and from a rebound perspective, was never really a timid guy, but now he's really making it known that he's there in the paint. A very obvious presence. Looks like he can play middle linebacker.
And it looked like he should have been sent to the free throw line for three right there. Made contact with the arm, but it was not called. A lucky break for the Saints, as one of the best free throw shooters on this Anderson team probably should have been headed to the free throw line.
And one opportunity here for Sir Hughes brings us to a timeout. We'll see you at the charity stripe.
Hitting them, there's even less of a reason to hesitate. Jordan York alongside Colin Calvert for the call of this one, and what a treat we've gotten thus far, and it feels like it's just beginning.
Just beginning indeed. A little less than 4 minutes to play here in your first half of action. Sir Hughes makes it a three-point play, 70% free throw shooter. Now Maccabee and Middleton breaking that full court press. 39-27, your score. Anderson leads by 12. 15 on the shot clock. Time winding down. Sentinel-Moore back on the court. The big man looking for an option finds that in Maccabee. He looks to get to work. The pick and pop, that one out. Travel call. Dallas Jones slid the foot just a bit too early.
Slid the foot right there, but I really like what Anderson is doing. They are doing an incredible job of spacing the floor, and it seems like every time a screen is set or a cut is made toward the basket, there's always somebody that pops open beyond the arc, creating good looks from three. One of the big reasons why Anderson has taken already 15 in this first half.
Sir Hughes driving on Maccabee. Step back, long range two will roll in.
Sir Hughes now up to 9 points for Limestone, their leading scorer, and he is feeling confident just because of his whole body of work this season. 4 for 8 tonight, has yet to hit a three, but 9 points, a good first half for him, especially looking to keep on pace with the average.
Ooh, Middleton went air mode as he looked to put the pound down on the rim. 41-29 your score.
I think a lot of people in this place thought he was going to slam that as opposed to just dropping it in the basket. But nonetheless, 2 points either way and 11 points for him.
And a very quiet 11 points so far for Middleton. He hasn't been very loud with his presence just yet, and that's really how he plays. He's not a very loud, aggressive type person. He's more calm, cool, collected presence, as I mentioned early on in the game. Jacksen Greco takes his place back on the court. Subbing in for Dallas Jones. We all see Okogie for the Saints. Owens takes the stand. And guilty of a make.
And Limestone was very confident in his ability to make that free throw because they didn't even have anybody in the box. If he had missed the one-on-one opportunity, it would have been an easy rebound for Anderson. But nonetheless, Isaiah Owens made that first free throw, but ended up missing the second when there were Saints to actually collect the rebound.
Middleton has space. Grabs his own rebound. Second chance opportunity. Jacksen Greco shoots baseline. Three ball. Maccabee drops it in a bucket.
Caleb Maccabee, the freshman from Providence High School, one of the most prestigious private high schools in the United States. He is going to be a big-time player for this Anderson team, but he is a great three-point shooter.
And we saw Sentinel-Moore swat that one away. Three ball, back to back. And talk about a big-time player, Jordan. That is Kayla Maccabee. 47-30. Downtown Anderson, some of the best subs ever. Jordan, I know you're from Texas, and they might not have Groucho's there, but the subs that Groucho's has, like the STP Dipper with some 45 sauce, oh my gosh, it's like heaven on earth. So go grab you some Groucho's. Downtown Anderson, a 5-minute drive from here on campus.
I will tell you that in Texas, they do not have a Groucho's, at least not near San Antonio, but they've got a lot of Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's, and Subway, which, you know, those are everywhere. So nothing too special in that regard. But I just might have to give Groucho's a try.
Jacksen Greco looking for a try at a few more points here. Austin Webb recollects it with less than a minute to go. 10 on the shot clock. Sentinel Moore down low, looking to penetrate the paint. Goes up with his 6'9" frame. Cole Middleton flies in from nowhere. And it comes away no points. 10-second differential. Shot clock, game clock. Okogie. Hop, skip, and a jump, looking for an outlet. Austin Webb contests it. Out wide, Sir Hughes finds the side of the rim. 20 seconds remain. Jacksen Greco slows the pace.
And it's fairly clear here that the Trojans will hold for the last shot. Already with a 17-point lead. Nothing bad happens if you miss, and if you make it, you could potentially have a 20-point lead going into half.
Greco drives, stops, shoots. Won't find it in as the buzzer expires. 17-point lead here for the Trojans. 47-30 your score. See you on the other side of halftime. We'll be back.
We talked about the board battle a lot during the women's game because Anderson's women's team wins games by dominating the boards. Well, the men, they're dominating the boards in this one, creating extra shot opportunities. 23-13, they're winning the rebound battle.
Sir Hughes starting things off with a three-point attempt. That one no good. Into the hands of Dallas Jones as the Trojans look to reclaim theirself a win and get back in the win column. Again, they've won only one out of the most recent 5 games, with losses that include, of course, LMU, lost at Carson Newman, and lost at UVA Wise. A lot of tough road games, and then coming back from all that to an even tougher home game against the number 10 team in the country as Middleton slapped down from behind by McKay.
And before that road stretch, they had a really tough game here against LR. That was a battle for 40 straight minutes, but did not fall their way. Then you have to go play 3 really tough opponents on the road. That just doesn't set up well. And the schedule coming up for Anderson is very difficult. They go to the 2-time defending South Atlantic Conference champions in Catawba on Saturday. They will play LR again. They will play LR again. They will play Limestone. They will play
3-ball, you betcha.
They will play Mars Hill and Wingate. And that Wingate game's above what would be 9th place in the South Atlantic Conference. And thus far, being up 20, things are looking pretty good for Anderson. Still, though, a lot of time to play. In college basketball, 18 minutes is an eternity.
Eternity. Austin Webb started off where he left in that first half of play with a triple. Like you said, 20-point lead, 18 minutes to go. Plenty of time for Limestone to amount some sort of comeback. Anderson's going to have to still be on their P's and Q's. No time to relax. But I know Jimmy Williams has instilled that kind of effort and that kind of grit into his guys. I remember it was during the summer, during my summer workouts for football, I would be talking to a few of the guys, Cole Middleton specifically. He said, man, we're going out to do 5 a.m. hill runs. I'm like, oh my gosh, hill runs and triple. I mean, all that hard work paying off. Caleb Maccabee sinks a 3, another one on his fantastic night.
His 3rd 3 of the night. The freshman from Florida is playing on another level here in front of the home crowd.
Speaking of players from Florida, the Tampa native, A.J. Wright, took a hard fall, popped the ball loose, and eventually got it into his hands. An offensive foul on Limestone. And Anderson to begin with things, up by 23.
And this the first game in a while for Anderson that feels like it really hasn't been up for grabs. Emory and Henry, their last game, and that was all the way back on January 4th, where it was like, all right, they're in pretty much control of this one. This one is leaning that way, but again, we've seen stranger things in college basketball. Comebacks happen all the time because, as we've said time and time again, and we saw it when this team played Coker, it's much better to be hot in the second half than the first.
Yes, completely correct. I heard a snapping, and A.J. Wright grabs his finger. I thought there was a possibility it broke, but he seems to be just fine and dandy now. Wright the inbound. Distributes up top. Middleton loses it. Regains possession and back on the move. Middleton topples through defenders, can't find its way in. And Maccabee quick to disrupt the play. Kobe for three.
And for those of you that watched the first half of this game, I would put a lot of money on Jimmy Williams putting Jacksen Greco out on the floor for some more quality minutes in this second half, because he saw a good bit of the action in the first half, seeing 10 minutes, which is already his season average, and he played very well. Hit a couple threes, had a nice lay-in, and even went to the free throw line. But I'd look to see more from him because he is playing very well tonight.
Very well indeed. We've seen Jimmy Williams dive into his bench multiple times today. As Cole Middleton checks out. Sentinel Moore back in. The 6'9" freshman had himself a very, I believe, a steal as well. Remains a 20-point game. Isaiah Owens in charge of this offense. Three ball from Painter. That one will flush out. And Caleb Maccabee on the attack.
A.J. Wright, a 76% free throw shooter. You're not going to see him miss both very often, just like you're not going to see Austin Webb miss that left-handed layup hardly ever.
Dancing between defenders was Wright, and found the more open in Webb. Wright starting to trickle towards foul trouble.
He's at 3 fouls, and so is Dallas Jones, and that's why Dallas Jones is currently on the bench for Anderson, and I believe at the time he was replaced by Maccabee.
Perez, big man rebound, cleans the glass. Wright commands the floor.
Looks like they're going to get Sentinel Moore for the moving screen. Tried to set the pick and roll, something that A.J. Wright in particular works so well off of. Just was moving when he did it. Guy ran into him, can't do that. That's a moving screen.
Painter. McKay. Working. Hughes. Right hand. Good. Kissing the glass as he goes.
A beautiful layup right there for Sir Hughes. He's got 11 points, the leading scorer for Limestone tonight, and the leading scorer all season. Not too surprising for the Saints.
More from low to high.
And working on the other end is Limestone, and they have started to pull the trigger a lot more from deep. It just has not fallen. They've only taken 4 less attempts from beyond the arc than the Trojans. The problem, they've made 8 less. 11 three-pointers for Anderson, only 3 for Limestone. A big reason why they trail 57-35, 15-14 to play here in the second half. We'll be back after a short media timeout.
since 1979. Here, who has not had the greatest resume in regards to coaching record, about a 32% career win percentage. Now, what do you do here to try and win this game, get yourself back in the win column during a pretty good season? You're sitting at 9-11 overall, 6-10 in conference. And the thing is, your road record is not spoken true of the talent you have on this team. 1-6.
Well, the answer is very simple, because in all the years that basketball has been a sport, for some reason they have not invented a 22-point shot. So you're not going to be able to get it all the way back in one possession. So what you're going to have to do is go on short runs. Every couple minutes, try to get 3 or 4 points and slowly work your way back into this game, so that right around the 2-minute mark you could see something close to a tie. But they have a lot of work to do, because in order to catch up, they also have to stop Anderson from both dominating the boards and scoring.
Middleton, the look of disgust after McKay slaps him hard on the wrist. Take him up to the free throw line. Shooting 2. Middleton again, pretty active today, 11 point, 3-point land.
And a double-double already for Cole Middleton. 12 points with that free throw, and he has 11 rebounds as well tonight. Perfect from the free throw line thus far.
And keeps it that way.
I did not jinx him, thank goodness.
Very good job, Jordan. The announcer's jinx doesn't work in all scenarios. Owens, downtown, got it.
And there you go. That's the first step. If you're Limestone, you get a little bit of confidence from beyond the arc. That doesn't give you the right to go down every possession and pull from beyond the arc, but at least it makes the Trojans defense respect your ability to pull up from the perimeter and connect. And then it opens up more opportunities closer to the basket.
Driving baseline was Webb. Middleton pulls up from deep and can't cash in. Quick to the punch. Sir Hughes. The dish off. Inside with the right hand. Good for Vargas.
And just like I talked about, they hit a shot, they go get a stop, they get a lay-in, and just like that, they've already burned 5 points of the 22, or the 24, excuse me, that they were down. That is the recipe for Limestone to get back into this game.
3 no good from Caleb Maccabee, who was very hot early on, or later on, there in the second half, or in the first half of play. Bouncing off the front of the rim, no good there for Limestone.
The biggest thing Limestone cannot afford to do right now is they cannot afford to give up second chance opportunities for the Trojans. And you see Jacksen Greco back out on the floor, something I predicted we'd see Coach Williams do in this second half. And he goes and gets a rebound.
Gets a rebound off the turnover that he had early on. That's called an effort play there, Jordan, there by Jacksen Greco here in his senior year. We did see some miscommunication between the Trojans, looking to bounce back. Didn't count there from 3 for Greco. Unfortunate there for the lefty.
Greco is feeling really good about his shot tonight. Even when it's not going to count, he shoots just because, you know, it's good to stay in that rhythm.
Yes.
You don't want to not take that shot, disrupt it, and then the next time you go down the floor, you bank it off the backboard or something, and it's nowhere close. He's staying in rhythm, and it's definitely making this Limestone defense have to respect him as much as anyone else on the floor.
A.J. Wright in control. Middleton now. From the elbow. Step back, long 2. Perez the rebound. Second chance opportunity. Here's Middleton. Right, scans. Middleton, pull up, 3 ball, you betcha. Bada bing, bada boom, Cole Middleton on fire.
And that is Exhibit A as to what Limestone cannot do. 1, the shot clock got incredibly low and they fouled, so it reset it a little bit. Then there was a missed shot, but they gave up an offensive rebound, and then Cole Middleton cashes from deep. That is something Limestone cannot afford to have happen because that was a 55 second possession and they gave up a three-pointer.
A.J. Wright streamlining down baseline. Lefty three ball. Jacksen Greco can't find its way in. And timeout called. Middleton the foul. 11:15 remains. You're in Amity, 62-40, 22-point game.
Welcome to my
71. About as impressive of a stat line as you can get right now if you're Anderson. Now the defense just needs to hold up. Quick pass, quick trigger three from Limestone. Greco comes down with it. Dallas Jones back on the floor, as well as Austin Webb. So they're bringing in a very high-profile roster of shooters to get the three-point game going, as well as it has been so far. Out wide, Austin Webb sees Perez, top of the key. Jones looking inside, finds nothing but a multitude of Saints. Quick down the floor, spin cycle, and good for Isaiah Owens.
And you see the Saints already applying pressure in the defensive backcourt. Jimmy Williams is going to call timeout so that the Trojans can be prepared for it. But Limestone making that defensive adjustment because they still have a lot of work to do. Down 20, 62-42 with 10.5 in Division I men's college hoops. Those are always fun to stay up till 1:32 in the morning and watch those. But, you know, college kids, who needs sleep?
Who needs sleep? Well, I'm a college graduate now, so I'm an adult, so I need sleep. My staying up late days are over, Jordan. I went to bed last night at 9 o'clock. Isn't that crazy?
I don't think you're an adult. I think you're more going toward grandpa status based on that bedtime.
Greco on the way to leaping 2 and 1. What a night for the senior.
9 points for Jacksen Greco. And you can feel the emotion from how he is playing tonight. And it has galvanized this Trojan team. With this free throw, he has a chance to have his 5th, and does, his 5th double-digit scoring game this season.
In control is Limestone. Owens now in the bright banana-colored shoes. Davis, pull-up, contested three, no good.
And Greco comes down with the board. The effort that the senior is putting in tonight, the hustle plays, the shot making, he is doing it all. And it is not going unnoticed for this Trojan team.
Don't know what exactly A.J. Wright hurt in that moment, but it looks like a foul on Okogie.
It didn't look like he hurt anything. It looked more so because it was a reach-in foul. He was coming across and his arm might have just gotten yanked a little bit on that one, but it doesn't look like he's showing any signs.
James repass, the big man out of Furman, making his Abney appearance here tonight. Goes up, draws a foul. Being a big body like that, about 6'10", and about 260 pounds, it's very difficult to not draw a foul, especially when you have momentum on your side. And I will say he would have made a great right tackle.
Yeah, he would have been a pretty darn good O-lineman. But the 6'10" redshirt junior transferred from Furman. He's got a lot of D1 experience, but he is still finding his role time this season, still kind of trying to feel out what his role is for this Trojan team.
And he's a great distributor. And one thing he's very, very good at is just being a good presence down low.
When you're 6'10", 245, it
Hard
makes
to
it
not
very
be.
easy to be.
A.J. Wright on the move, swimming through defenders. The lob attempted to find Dallas Jones. A bit late, too many defenders in the way. Jacksen Greco etches around the elbow.
AJ had dialed up the DJ looking for a highlight reel.
Repass. The right-handed hook, no good. Had a few points against LR. Repassed in. Some good points as well. 3 ball off the right side of the rim. We'll see another foul. Looks to be going the way of repass. And that's 2 fouls back-to-back there for the redshirt junior.
Well, and remember, with LR, they had the task of the 7'2" Konrad Laczynski. And 7'2" played for the Poland under-18 national champions or world championship team. Just a ridiculous presence down low, and Coach Jimmy Williams was throwing any and everybody down low to try and stop him. And it worked for a little while. Just wasn't quite enough to bring home the win in that one.
That was a very, very close game, too. Anderson has come close within 1 to 2 possessions for, I mean, a majority of their losses were that.
Every ranked team they've played except for LMU was a 4-point or less game. They had Carson Newman here, lost by 3. They had LR here, lost by 4. They had, I believe it was Catawba at the time. They were ranked. No, they weren't ranked, but that was here, and that was a big win for them. But they just they've been so close, just haven't quite been able to finish the job.
Greco, 3 ball on a dive. Jacksen Greco sinks yet another.
And Jacksen Greco, we were talking about him just bumping the season average. Now we're talking about him potentially having a season high because he only needs 2 more points to tie his season high of 15, which he notched against Mars Hill.
Jones with the easy lay. Closing in again on that 30-point spread. Owens tries for 3 again, sinks it back-to-back threes. Brings it within 19. More of those, and they might have a chance at a comeback. Still plenty of time to go. Austin Webb with the left hand. No and 1 called. He's backing up and getting on defense. Miscommunication. A.J. Wright to the scene. On the way. Sentinel Moore, the jam. Sentinel Moore, that jam gets 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. And with a response is Limestone.
That was fun. We definitely just lost all our credibility as broadcasters by doing that. But
Austin Webb trying. Sentinel Moore the rebound, surrounded by a multitude of Saints.
you know, shout out to AJ and Big Justice. You know, you got to keep up with the current trends as a broadcaster, and we made sure to get that done.
Ooh, the trend right now is a Jacksen Greco 3. This guy has been tracing the place up.
And with that, a season high of 16 points for Jacksen Greco.
Jacksen Greco, we always knew was a shooter, and has just proven that point here today. Step back, 3 ball, A.J. Wright off the front of the rim. Owens, no good.
Jacksen Greco, actually not just the season high, but the highest he scored in the last 2 seasons for Anderson, 16 points. He had 15 against Tusculum last season, and he had 15 against Mars Hill this season. His freshman year, though, he had 34 against Emory and Henry, but he had a much different role in this Anderson squad.
We'll see a massive switch between squads on the floor, as well as a timeout taken. 77-53. We'll see on the other side. Us on the AU Sports Network. This broadcast, of course, presented to you by Sparrow Financial.
And Anderson's effort tonight really been a three-man trio leading the way. Two of the guys made a lot of sense. You know, Austin Webb with 17, all right, that's kind of normal. Cole Middleton, 16, that's fairly normal. And then Jacksen Greco with 16. That is the biggest surprise and the biggest story, I feel like, of the night. The senior is playing absolutely outstanding for AU. And on the flip side, you got Limestone, and they're really not playing bad. It's almost like we're seeing the flip version of what we saw on Saturday. Instead of Anderson getting outshot, Anderson's the ones doing the outshooting, because they've made 14 three-pointers tonight. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Closing in on the 6-minute mark. We will see a foul, and looks to be on Middleton. So 3 fouls there for the big man down low. 79-55 remains the score. McKay to the line, shooting 2.
And for Limestone, Isaiah Owens leading the way. I mean, he's 7 for 9, 4 for 6 from 3. Had 2 trips to the free throw line and went 1 for 2 on each. But he's got 20 points. It's just the case that we saw with Anderson, not getting enough help elsewhere.
Again, the Inman, South Carolina native, having just a really good night so far. Got to represent the hometown, right? Middleton observes. Finds Jones on the outlet. Inside, again into double coverage. Ball will be Anderson's, it looks like.
And this game, in all likelihood, assuming it goes the way of the Anderson Trojans.
Quick trigger 3, got it. Caleb Maccabee fades away with 3.
And Maccabee looks like he's going to make sure that that happens. This serves as a major confidence booster because they go on the road to Catawba up next. And that is a team that we saw them play earlier this year. They hadn't beat them since 2020, but they got the win. They started 4-0 this season. Anderson really, really thriving when they met Catawba earlier this season, but it feels like it's a different team now. It's a different matchup. Catawba isn't the top team in the South Atlantic Conference this year. They're sitting right around that 3-4 spot compared to LR and LMU, the 2 teams above them. The stakes feel a little bit different. It's not the top of the conference anymore, but it's still a really tough team to beat, and what a win that would look really, really good if you're Anderson. And
plenty of time really to get these wins as well. I mean, we're just in the beginning of February, but March will be here before you know it. Cole Middleton, 3-ball release. Caleb Maccabee, clean up, aisle 10.
And you know, you say March will be here before you know it. On Saturday, we were 1 month exactly from the end of the regular season. We're getting closer and closer and closer every time these teams put on their jerseys. And there's only a few games left. There's only 6 or 7 games left for these teams' seasons as Austin Webb just continues to add to the lead for Anderson. But the time to tune up for March starts now, because you can't wait till March to get hot. You need to get hot now if you want to make a run, especially in the South Atlantic Conference Tournament, where you're going to play 1, 2, possibly 3 or 4 nationally ranked opponents.
Middleton tiptoes the line. They'll call backcourt. And brings us to the under 4 timeout. We'll be back here after these short messages. 86-64. And again, make sure you stick around for the post-game interview with Jimmy William and a player of his choice. We'll see that here soon.
Ridiculous.
You also have to look at the assist stat. We've seen a lot of passing of the rock, sharing of the wealth, and that's brought us to many good shot opportunities. That's the thing, finding the right opportunity at the right moment, and that requires passing the ball around. It can't be a one-man show, and tonight it is definitely not. Many Trojans have contributed to what looks to be a possible win. Up and miss. McKay at the buzzer. A.J. Wright going to slow down the pace. 3:15 remains here in Abney. He might go all the way. The right-handed lay, no good. Cole Middleton, the and one. Big man flex the muscles.
When you chat with Jimmy Williams here in just a few minutes, I assume he's going to be a very, very happy man, because his team is doing everything you can ask. They're shooting the ball well. They're distributing the ball well. They're rebounding incredibly well. 41-24, the Trojans are winning the rebound battle. And more importantly, they're going to be wire-to-wire winners in this one. What more could you ask for if you're Coach Jimmy Williams?
Nothing more than a possible win here at the end of things. Maccabee. Middleton. Right. No look. 3-ball. Webb. Triple. Close to unstoppable is what I'd call Austin Webb right about now. McKay lets one loose. No good. As the time is ticking down, we're approaching that 2-minute mark. Sam Perez and the Trojans on the hunt for another win as they look to break this losing streak. Maccabee spin cycle 2.
And right now, Anderson sits right behind Wingate, the team that they will play later on this month, and they will play them here at the Abney Athletic Center. But if they happen to fall in their contest with Newberry, who just beat Limestone in their most recent contest, so they have a bit of momentum, there's a chance that Anderson could not just be 8th, they could be 7th and maybe even 6th after the conclusion of this one. But Anderson, nothing but money right now. I mean, 97 points. Wow.
Long 3, no good. Closing in on the 1-minute mark. Swatted away is Maccabee.
A 29 points for AU, their second highest this season, only trailing when they played Bob Jones.
Anderson to inbound. Caleb Maccabee commands things. Looking for Greco. The lefty finds Sentinel Moore. On the escape. The 1-2 punch. 3-ball. No good for Wade. Wade Pierce, a former stud intramural basketball player here at Anderson, had the opportunity to walk on. Jimmy Williams grants him that opportunity, and he is a baller. May you describe him as the spark of the team, brings a lot of life, a lot of energy, and overall he's a nasty three-point shooter when given the chance. Austin Webb trying to bring this one to a close. Wade Pierce, no good from out wide.
So close on back-to-back attempts for Wade Pierce. You get the feeling if he gets one more, it's going to fall.
Webb looking to bring this one to a close. Here in Abney, 97-68, your final score, ladies and gentlemen, as we bid you farewell. What a game here by Jimmy Williams and his Trojans to get back on the board and back in the win column. No better team to do it against than a very gritty